Hey guys, Katie here from Equestrian Movement, and I'm going to do a little training on developing relaxation and swing. So relaxation and swing is a combination of developing your horse's mental relaxation to cope with the pressure of work, learning aids, and emotional resilience, so being able to manage themselves emotionally in response to the asks that you are giving them. And then it's also a stage of musculoskeletal development. So when we start with a greenbroke horse, they are traveling with forwardness by pulling with their chest and their shoulders. And so once we start transferring the weight more onto the hindquarters, we can start to develop some engagement and throughness. That's when we start to see the top line work with relaxation and swing. And then it's also got a bit to do with us in the saddle, so making sure that your hands aren't balancing on your horse's mouth, that you are able to ride without contact and still be able to maneuver your horse around the figures, that you're not reliant on your reins and the bit for steering and communication with the horse, that you can do it with contact and without contact. So we're going to have a quick look at Phoenix, who has got some relaxation and swing established. We can see in his tail, in his trot there, where it's lifted and it's just gently swishing side to side within the rhythm of his trot. We can give the reins away and he can go down into a stretch, although he hasn't warmed up enough just now to actually show it. We can pick them back up into that working frame, and he's going to show you in a second why he didn't stretch. So there it is there. That's because he had a little trap shoulder that hadn't warmed up properly yet, and so now he's back into stretching. He goes a little bit behind the vertical with the contact. We're still working on that part of it, but what we're looking for is that there's a bit of bounce in his shoulders, that the tail is swinging, and that we can see that the movement is, for the most part, flowing through his body into contact. He's not quite there yet, because when we have our horses working correctly with relaxation and swing, both hind legs are tracking up evenly, and he is still driving off of this right hind, which means that he is still working with a degree of crookedness in his body. But overall, he's got a lot of the pieces of the puzzle in the right places to be able to work through his body with relaxation and swing. And that has a lot to do with the exercises that he's done. So using the right combination of exercises to ask for the lateral suppleness that creates the longitudinal suppleness, in combination with our strength building exercises like rein back, canter transitions, changes of rein, transitions in general, tempo changes, kinds of exercises that ask him to lift into contact just as much as drive into contact from behind. What we're trying to do is balance the lateral suppleness with the strength of like the squatting and the lifting to develop the longitudinal suppleness to be able to hold his balance as he goes down into a stretch. Horses that aren't ready for this yet, they will go down like Phoenix did in that first stretch, and they'll trip. So they're still using their forehand and their underneck for balance, and you can see at this stage that Phoenix is still using his underneck a little bit for his balance. So if we look at a horse that doesn't have relaxation and swing yet, you can see that a lot of the forwardness comes from pulling with the chest and the shoulders. So because of the way that their underneck is engaged, because that's where the skeleton sits, when they're working on the forehand there, you give the reins away and they don't follow the contact down into long and low. And so what we're looking at is that he hasn't got the conditioning and the musculoskeletal development yet to be able to actually reach down and out with the contact, because he's still using his forehand and his underneck to stabilize a lot of his movement. As we get more weight transferring onto the forehand, as we get more lateral suppleness and more strength of the chest and shoulders, he will have more elasticity in his movement and will have a deeper stretch. So this little effort here and then again here are his best efforts at going into long and low and trot. And it's not until he can take that contact down that he will have the elasticity of his top line to reach down without falling over his front end, but also the suppleness of it to be able to reach down. So you can see that there's like little steps here and there of him popping into contact. And this is where a lot of people can go wrong with asking for the frame, is that they get this 1 step, 2 step, and because they've been working on it for so long, get really like worried that they're not going to be able to get again, and get really worried that they can't maintain it, and so will end up holding their head down, seesawing their head into a frame, and all that does is hyperextend the top line. It doesn't build the strength and condition and the broadness and the squareness and the balance and the engagement and the throughness. Like, it doesn't build anything more than just a super supple top line that allows them to put their head down. So we need to put our exercises together in a way that benefits our horses. So complementing our lateral suppling exercises like serpentine circles, changes of direction, leg yields and whatnot, with our strengthening exercises. So this is an example of one of our strengthening exercises, is the trot through canter lead changes on the figure of 8. That nice little pop that we get, right, left, helps to build the tone of the chest and the shoulders so that he can engage more of his top line and be find less of his balance through his chest and his shoulders. So if you end up you can force them down into long and low before they're ready, but it is not beneficial to their body, because we need to get the transfer of weight into the hindquarters, and we need to get the top line engaged and strong and working to be able to actually hold the forehand up when they go down. Otherwise, we're just getting them breaking away at the 3rd vertebrae, and that is long term no good for our horses. Like, they can do it here and there for a little stretch, but it's not going to help them long term. So if you want some help with how to coordinate your exercises, cue train your aids, put together lesson plans so that they're of benefit to your horse's musculoskeletal development, have a look at our Arena Grande membership. We have the training process through to self-carriage and broken down into the lesson plans, so that you can take them down to the stables and just implement each lesson plan with what you're doing with your horse in a way that complements the exercises, complement each other, so that we're combining these strength building and suppling exercises to create that elasticity, relaxation, swing and freedom of movement. It also has a free it also has access to our Facebook group, which you can put videos into, and we will coach over the top of them to help you figure out where your horse is at developmentally, figure out what your next best steps with your horses are, and look at where, you know, maybe crookedness is impacting the performance of your horse, and how easily you're able to progress and transition through the levels, and then maybe also if your body is interfering with your horse's progress. So if you'd like more information on that, just send me a message or email me, and we can send you the information. Thanks for watching. Bye.